Don't forget to like, subscribe and share the videos.
Good evening one and all. I welcome you all to Ganesh IAS Academy. In today's session, we'll be seeing environment, current affairs based environment from the date June 1 to June 7th. Okay, we'll be covering this 1 week. Okay, let us get into the first news article, that is sustainable aviation fuel. What is the news actually? 41st ICOA, that is International Civil Aviation Organization, okay, its assembly held in South Korea, okay, and they have made a goal, okay. What that goal is: international aviation of net zero carbon emission by 2050, which is in support of UNFCCC Paris Agreement. So there are many terms here. International aviation of net zero carbon emission. So we must know what is net zero carbon emission, and they have given a deadline to it, that is 2050, and it is in line with UNFCCC Paris Agreement. Okay, in support of UNFCCC Paris Agreement, they have done this. So we must have to know each and everything in detail. Now, why is it in news? That is because India is not accepting this goal, this date, this target date. India does not accept. That is because what India is saying is it is too early for countries like India or any other developing countries, and we have many other criteria to attain such a target. So this is not a perfect time as you give, is what that we are saying. And what they are proposing is sustainable aviation fuel. Whom? This International Civil Aviation Organization is proposing sustainable aviation fuel, which will give net zero carbon emission. Okay, so let us get into the details of this news. What is International Civil Aviation Organization? We'll understand that first. Okay, ICAO is United Nations specialized agency established in 1944. Here is important, which laid the foundation for standards and procedure for peaceful global air navigation. So peaceful global air navigation is their focus area. Okay, and this convention is also called as Chicago Convention. Okay, Convention on International Civil Aviation. From that convention only, this organization has evolved in the year 1944. Okay, 7th December 1944. Is India a member of this organization? Yes, India is a member, and it has a total number of 193 members. Okay, total number of 193 members, and it is headquartered in Montreal, Canada, Montreal. Okay, all these points are important, and it is also called as Chicago Convention. Paris Agreement. We saw something called as Paris Agreement. What is Paris Agreement? It is a legally binding agreement. It is a global agreement under which convention? United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, UNFCCC, which was adopted in the year 2015 during COP21. What is COP here? It is Conference of Parties. Conference of Parties is COP. So Conference of Parties 21 in the year 2015. This legally binding agreement has been agreed upon by all the nations. Okay, and what does it aim? It aims to combat climate change and limit global warming to well below 2 degrees Celsius above the pre-industrial levels. Actually, only after industrialization, this global warming has become more. Okay, we started emitting a lot of greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide, methane, and many other hydrofluorocarbons, chlorofluorocarbons, and etc. Okay, so they are causing global warming. So all that is because of industrialization. So what is the aim here is we must have to limit the global warming well below 2 degrees Celsius above the pre-industrial levels, and this will be achieved before the year 2100. Okay, and we also have this ambition of limiting the warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius by the year 2050. Okay, so all these are important with respect to Paris Agreement. Okay, this is Paris Agreement. Next is, what is India's stance of SAF, that is Sustainable Aviation Fuel mandates? They have given certain mandates, right, in this assembly which held in South Korea. Okay, so what India is saying is, India believes that each and every country should be allowed to develop its own strategy according to its national plans. Okay, what they are saying is, you do not give us a global plan now, let us have our own national plan, and according to it, let us go for sustainable aviation fuel whenever we want. Okay, and then India is also saying, at present you just focus on production, certification and availability of SAF. Okay, even before the availability of SAF, if you are going for volumetric mandates, then that is not possible. This is India's stance. So they are saying long-term global aspirational goals are not applicable now. Let us do it as our country's strategy goes. Okay, so India intends to participate in ICAO's, this is important, CROSIA, that is Carbon Offsetting and Reduction Scheme for International Aviation. It is a scheme under this International Civil Aviation Organization, and India is trying to participate in it, and India will participate in this scheme by the year 2027. Okay, so this is also important. What is CROSIA? What is it linked to? All that is important. Now we'll understand what is sustainable aviation fuel. Sustainable aviation fuel is also referred to as biojet fuel. Okay, biojet fuel, which is created using domestically developed methods. Okay, each and every country has their own method of producing sustainable aviation fuel, and what are they using to produce it? Cooking oil and oil rich seeds from plants. These are the two materials that they are using for production of sustainable aviation fuel. We have something called as ASTM. When each and every country produces such a fuel, that is sustainable aviation fuel, they go for testing. Okay, strict testing at US Federal Aviation Administration clearing house. Okay, in that clearing house, they will check for ASTM standards. What is ASTM? That is important here. American Society for Testing and Materials. And for this sustainable aviation fuel, they have certain code named D4054 certification. Okay, according to ASTM International. Okay, so what is this ASTM? If there is any chemical product or any chemical processes, then they will have certain standards and they will certify that chemical product or process. That is called as ASTM. That work is done by this body called ASTM, that is American Society for Testing and Materials. Okay, this is important. What are the sources which we are using for the production of SAF, that is sustainable aviation fuel? In India, we have CSIR, right? Council of Scientific and Industrial Research. Under it, we have a particular center called Indian Institute of Petroleum, which is creating SAF. Okay, which is creating SAF fuels using different sources like non-edible and edible oils, and they are also using cooking oils for this purpose. What are the best examples for it? Palm stearin, sapium oil, palm fatty acid distillates, algae oil, karanja oil, and jatropha oil. These are the oils that they are using for the production of SAF. Such examples are also important because previously UPSC has asked questions like this. If there is a particular topic where they produce a certain thing from many sources, then they'll list all the sources and then they'll ask which of the sources is used for the production of so and so product. Okay, so keeping in mind all the examples is also important with respect to exam point of view. Next, the next couple of slides will be dealing with mains based thing. Okay, mains exam answer writing based things. Okay, benefits of SAF scaling in India. What are the benefits do we have? Reducing greenhouse gas emissions, improving air quality, obvious, enhancing energy security, creating jobs in renewable energy sector, because we are moving from conventional to renewable energy. Okay, non-renewable to renewable energy. And then promoting sustainable development. This is important. What is sustainable? Sustainable development. This term actually comes again and again in environment and also in economy. Okay, so what is sustainable? We are using certain resources now, and even our future generation need to use the same kind of resources that we are using now. So we must have to use the resources in such a way that our future generations must also enjoy the same kind of resources and its utility as we enjoyed it. Okay, so that is called as sustainable. Okay, so we are keeping in mind about the future generations when we are using the resources now. That is called as sustainable development. So wherever you see the term sustainable, it is with respect to the future generation. We are using something now that is sustainable. Okay, so it promotes sustainable development, obviously. Next is, it helps aviation industry meet its environmental targets and contribute to global efforts to combat climate change. That is an important point. Next, SAF can be mixed with regular jet fuels. Points like this are important with respect to prelims, because even in the recent prelims examination, one question was asked, that is, green fuel can be mixed with the other fuel. Okay, so yes, that statement was right. See, here also you have such a statement, that is, SAF can be mixed with regular jet fuel and can be used together. Okay, so such statements can be asked. Next is, compared to traditional fuel, it has lower sulfur content. This again becomes a technical point which is important. It has lower sulfur content, which decrease air pollution and support India's goal for achieving net zero emissions. Okay, all these points are important. You can write all these points if questions like this is asked, that is SAF is asked, okay, in your mains. Next is challenges involved pertaining to SAF. What are all the challenges that we have? That is high cost. Okay, we are going to convert this biomass into fuel. Okay, but then at present it is expensive. Currently it is more expensive. That conversion process is not easy as of now. Next is, we have limited resource availability. Okay, that is because current infrastructure needs are not well developed in our country, so that we can go for upgradation or scaling up of SAF production. Next is feedstock availability. What is the feedstock here? We use oil. Okay, we use cooking oil and also oil seeds we use. Okay, it is not available in plenty for production of SAF. That is again a concern. Next is certification process. The process of certifying such a fuel is very stringent. Okay, they have stringent quality and sustainability criteria. So getting certification is not an easy process. Yet another thing is, a recognized standard for this certification is not globally same. Okay, so each and every nation has their own standard, so that is also not a good thing. Okay, so that is a challenge that we face when we go for SAF. Next is, what is India's climate commitments? Okay, in India said that 2050 target that has been set in the recent assembly is not possible for us, is what India is saying. So what is India's target? India's net zero commitments. India has pledged to achieve net zero emissions by the year 2070, okay, and reduce carbon intensity for its economy by less than 45% by the year 2030. Both the years are important, and see what they are saying. In 2030, they will reduce it by less than 45%, and by 2070 will become net zero emitting country. Okay, net zero carbon emission country. And additionally, India is also asking other developed countries to provide climate finance of $1 trillion as early as possible, because we for us to achieve such a target, we need help from developed countries. Okay, developing countries are asking developed countries for help. Okay, next, what is this net zero emission? We are talking about this very often. What is net zero emission? Net zero emission is nothing but creating an overall balance between what and what? It is between greenhouse gas emission produced and greenhouse gas emission taken out of the atmosphere. Okay, say for example, this is atmosphere. If greenhouse gas is getting in and if the greenhouse gas is taken out, if these two amounts are equal, then inside the atmosphere we have net zero. Okay, input is equal to 1 and output is equal to 1, so the net will be 0 here. That is what we are focusing on. Okay, this can be done by many scientific methods like absorbing the carbon sequestration and other such techniques, or we can reduce carbon emission. That is also a way to reduce. Okay, so this concept is very important, net zero emission. Next, consider the following statement. This is a previous year question. Why have I given this question here? That is because goal and its date, the target date based questions have been asked in the past. Okay, so such questions, such topics becomes important. Okay, sustainable development goals were first proposed in 1972 by a global think tank called Club of Rome. No, this statement is wrong because sustainable development goals were given in the year 2015. Earlier it was Millennium Development Goals from the year 2000 to 2015. From 2015 to 2030, we have Sustainable Development Goal. So the target here now is 2030. Okay, and it has been adopted in the year 2015. So the first statement is wrong, and sustainable development goal have to be achieved by 2030. Yes, that is a correct statement. So the answer to this question would be answer B. Okay, option B. This is a previous year question. Now we'll see a question based on this topic which we discussed now. Okay, Chicago Convention is related to which of the following? Protection of ozone layer, international civil aviation, conservation of migratory species, protection of environment from adverse effect of mercury. Such questions are potential questions. Okay, may be asked. Okay, the answer here is international civil aviation because we saw. Okay, Convention on International Civil Aviation is also called as Chicago Convention, which held in the year 1944. Okay, which led to the creation of International Civil Aviation Organization. Okay, that is the organization which has given the target recently. Okay, 2050 target they have set. Let us consider the other options also. Protection of ozone layer. This is Vienna Convention. Conservation of migratory species. This is Bonn Convention. Protection of environment from adverse effect of mercury. This is Minamata Convention. Okay, so such place-based convention names are important. Previously, they have asked this in match the following, so this becomes an important topic. Chicago Convention. Next topic, the next news is e-cooking transition. Okay, World Environment Day has been celebrated recently. When was it celebrated? June 5th. Why are we celebrating World Environment Day? To create awareness about environmental protection and sustainability. Okay. What is the news here is Bureau of Energy Efficiency along with Collaborative Labeling and Appliances Standards Program. Okay, it is an NGO. Okay, it is an international NGO has organized a conference on this date on World Environment Day. What is the conference name? Conference on Consumer-Centric Approaches for E-Cooking Transition in India. Okay, in New Delhi, they organized this conference. Okay, and the conference is aimed to accelerate the development of energy efficient, clean, and affordable e-cooking e-cooking solutions in India. Okay, so we must have to understand what is e-cooking, what is World Environment Day, what is Bureau of Energy Efficiency. Okay, all these topics we have to cover. So let us get into one by one the details. Okay, Bureau of Energy Efficiency. What is Bureau of Energy Efficiency? It is a body which has been created in the year 2002, March 2002, and it was created under the provisions of which act? This becomes important. This is important. Energy Conservation Act 2001. Okay, according to that act only, we have created Bureau of Energy Efficiency. What is their objective? Their objective is to reduce energy intensity of Indian economy. That is, we have to be energy efficient. Okay, we should not be energy intensive. That is, we should not be spending more energy and getting very less output. We must be spending less energy and getting more output. So efficiency wise, we must be well versed. That is what the focus of Bureau of Energy Efficiency. There are other major programs under Bureau of Energy Efficiency. This becomes a potential question area. That is, State Energy Efficiency Index is created by which of the following body? That is Bureau of Energy Efficiency. Next is Perform, Achieve and Target Scheme is under which body? BEE. The Standards and Labeling Program is under BEE. Next is Energy Conservation Building Code is given by Bureau of Energy Efficiency. So this point becomes very important with respect to exam. Next, World Environment Day 2023. What have they done? And why this Environment Day is celebrated? Who has proposed or established this day? That is, United Nations Assembly has established this day in the year 1972, June 1972. Date is 5th, okay, 5th June 1972. And this particular date has a significance. It is the first day of Stockholm Conference on Human Environment. Okay, before this conference, there has been no conference on environment health, or they were not much concerned about what is happening to the environment, global warming, greenhouse gases, and other such things. Okay, so from this conference onwards, they started focusing on human environment, how this environmental changes are going to affect human in person. Okay, so this date has been marked as World Environment Day. Okay, so it signifies the first day of Stockholm Conference on Human Environment 1972. Again, it becomes an important point. Next, it is hosted by different country each and every year. In the year 2018, India has hosted the 45th celebration of World Environment Day under the theme. What was the theme in 2018? It is Beat Plastic Pollution. Okay, and in the year 2023, that is this year, the World Environment Day is hosted by Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast is a country in Africa. Okay, Ivory Coast in partnership with Netherlands. Ivory Coast is also called this. Okay, Côte d'Ivoire, or however it is pronounced. Next, this year marks the 50th anniversary of World Environment Day. So again, it becomes important. Okay, it marks the 50th anniversary of World Environment Day. So World Environment Day related questions and topics becomes important this year. Okay, and the theme for this year is again solutions to plastic pollution. Even in 2018, it was Beat Plastic Pollution, and now it is solutions to plastic pollution, again under the campaign Beat Plastic Pollution. Okay, so even now the theme is Beat Plastic Pollution. Next, we have to understand what e-cooking is. This is our topic, right? From here only we came to this point. Okay, I mean, we explained what is BEE and what is World Environment Day, because this conference held on that day. Okay, e-cooking involves the use of electric cooking appliances, which is using clean and energy efficient energy. Okay, and what are the equipments that they use? They use electric stoves, induction cooktops, and other electric cooking devices in households. Okay, this point becomes very important. It aligns with sustainable development goal. We already saw, right? Sustainable development goal from the year 2015 to 2030 is the target year. Okay, and we have 17 sustainable development goals, and among the 17, goal 7.1 focuses on certain thing called universal access to clean cooking and improving indoor air. So they focus on clean cooking. So e-cooking is clean cooking. Okay, and improving indoor air quality. Obviously, when we go for e-cooking, air quality will be better indoor, I mean inside the house. Okay, so it aligns with sustainable development goal. Which goal? 7.1. That number becomes important. Next, India is transitioning from e-cooking, to normal cooking, that is LPG based cooking. Earlier we were cooking using wood. Okay, now we are cooking using LPG. Now in the future we are going to transition to electric cooking. Okay, so how are we able to make this transition from LPG to e-cooking? That is because we attained this achievement, that is 24/7 electricity all over India, all over the nation. Even in remote rural areas, we achieved this feat. That is because of this particular scheme called Saubhagya scheme. Okay, Saubhagya scheme, it focuses on providing electricity connections to millions of households, and it eliminates power cuts. Okay, thus creating an environment conducive to the adoption of electric cooking. So Saubhagya scheme plays a major role here. Next, there is something called as Life Mission. Okay, this has been in news for the past 1 month because of World Environment Day. Since we were approaching towards World Environment Day on June 5th, for the past 1 month, Life mission was given a push. Okay, under life mission, many initiatives were taken. Okay, so e-cooking plays a vital role in the mission life. What is life? Lifestyle for environment. That is, we changing our lifestyle sustainably so that we could contribute something positive to the environment. That is the core idea of this life mission. Okay, and it was launched by our Prime Minister Narendra Modi at 26th, this is important, 26th UN Climate Change Conference of Parties 26, COP 26 in the year 2021. All the numbers become important here. Next, this mission life aims to transform individuals into pro-planet advocates. We are going to become, each and every human being in this planet is going to become a pro-planet advocate. That is, we are going to safeguard our planet Earth. Okay, and we are going to promote sustainable lifestyles. Okay, by promoting sustainable lifestyles, we are going to become pro-planet advocates. Okay, so that we protect our environment. Access to clean cooking energy is essential aspect of India's clean transition journey. Thus, it is aligning with the goal of mission life. Thus, e-cooking aligns with the goal of mission life. Okay, so mission life also is also an important topic in your mains. Okay, let us see a couple of questions from this topic. Bureau of Energy Efficiency was set up under the provisions of which of the following acts? Electricity Regulatory Commissions Act 1998, Electricity Act 2003, Energy Conservation Act 2001, and National Renewable Energy Act 2015. We saw there it is Energy Conservation Act 2001. Okay, questions like this may be asked and like this have been asked in the past. Okay, so it is important. Energy Conservation Act, under this only Bureau of Energy Efficiency has been created. Okay, and this Electricity Act focuses on renewable energy and other things. Okay, yet another question. Consider the following statements with reference to mission life. It was launched by Prime Minister of India at United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change COP21 in 2021. COP21 in 2021. This statement is wrong. Why? Because it is United Nations Climate Change Conference of Parties COP26. Okay, in the year 2021. 2021, the year is right, but then it was not COP21. COP21 is Paris Agreement 2015. Okay, here it is COP26. And then the second statement, it aims to transform individuals into pro-planet advocates and promote sustainable lifestyle. Just before some moments we saw this statement. Yes, this is correct. So mission life, second statement is right, but then the first statement is wrong. Which of the following statements are right? Only two is right. Okay, first statement is wrong. The next topic that we are going to see for today is plastic waste into fuel. That is, we are going to convert plastic waste into fuel. Who is involved in this plan and other things we'll discuss in detail. We already know that this year's theme of World Environment Day, theme 2023, is Beat Plastic Pollution. Okay, Beat Plastic Pollution campaign is what is being conducted. It highlights the urgent need for global solutions to combat pervasive issue of plastic pollution. Yes, we have a pervasive issue of plastic pollution and we need to address it. And for this, Department of Science and Technology is taking multiple steps. Like they are supporting a range of technologies which is aimed at addressing the global issue of plastic pollution. And by focusing on these 3 R's, this is a very old concept, right? That is reduce, reuse, and recycle. Okay, for plastic, we are going to focus on this. And under this 3R scheme, we have created a pilot scale mobile plant. Okay, it is a pilot scale plant. It has not been deployed nationwide. It is just under development stage, research stage. That is pilot scale mobile plant, which converts plastic waste into fuel. Now let us understand what is plastic. Let us understand a little basics about plastics. What are they? How can they be recycled? And then we'll understand how we are going to convert this plastic waste into fuel. What are plastics? Plastics refer to a wide range of synthetic and semi-synthetic materials derived from polymers. Plastics are basically polymers, okay, characterized by their plasticity and their ability to undergo deformation. That is their unique ability. That is, they can be deformed into any object. They have, that is because they have this quality called plasticity. That is why they are called plastics. Okay. Next, modern plastics primarily originate from fossil fuel. Fossil fuel is used for creation of, for production of plastic things. Especially we use petroleum and natural gas products. Not only fossil fuel based, we can also create plastic using renewable materials like corn and cotton derivatives. Okay, this point is important. Around 70% of global plastic production is concentrated in 6 major polymer types, and they are called as commodity plastics. That is because they find application in wide range of areas. Okay, in wide range of areas they find application. What are commodity plastics? We need to understand. We saw, right, 6 important things. 6. What are they? Polyethylene terephthalate, that is PET. High density polyethylene, that is HDPE. Polyvinyl chloride or PVC. Low density polyethylene, LDPE. Polypropylene, PP, and then polystyrene, PS. Okay, they all have different properties and they have to be identified, right? We have many polymers, that is plastics, and they have to be identified and differentiated among them. Okay, this is PVC and this is PP and this is PS. How are we going to identify it? We are going to identify it by a process called, or giving a code called resin identification code. So our next focus would be on understanding what is resin identification code. This code was developed in the year 1988 by Society of Plastic Industries, SPI. And how was it created? It was created to facilitate efficient sorting and recycling. We need to sort out what is what, okay, which plastic belongs to which category, and then it will also be helping us in recycling process because there won't be any mixing among plastics. Next is, each RIC corresponds to what? To a specific type of resin that is used. That is why it has been named resin identification code. Okay, and we already saw this, right? ASTM, American Society for Testing and Materials. They have taken over the administration of RIC after 20 years. Okay, after 20 years from this date. And then RIC specifically applies to plastic. This point is also important. It specifically applies to plastic and not, okay, not glass, paper or other recyclable materials. Okay, there are many recyclable materials like glass, paper and other things, but then this RIC, that is resin identification code, applies only to plastics. Okay, such statement may be asked. So this is RIC. In bottles you might have seen such numbers, okay, either at the bottom of at the base, if you see in a bottle you'll see, or else in the cap also at times you'll see this code. Okay, 1 is for PET, 2 is for high density polyethylene, and 3 is for polyvinyl chloride PVC, 4 is for low density polyethylene, 5 for polypropylene, and 6 for polystyrene. And all other plastics are categorized under 7. And what these materials are used for, where are they used, that is also given here. You can have a look at it. Next is decomposition rate and impact of plastic. Plastic is a problematic thing, that is because it is having a very slow decomposition rate, and even if it decomposes, what is the output? It is created into harmful substances like microplastics, contributing to presence of microplastics. So what are microplastics? They are plastic particles measuring less than 5 millimeter in diameter. Okay, a question based on micro beads or microplastic has been already asked in UPSC prelims examination. Okay, next is, under microplastics we have two types, that is primary microplastics and secondary microplastics. Primary microplastics are those tiny particles designed for commercial use, that is we are producing it, okay, for commercial use in cosmetics and textiles. And secondary microplastics are the result from breakdown of large plastic items. When large plastic items are thrown in ocean, they over a period of time disintegrate or decompose. Okay, though the rate is slow, they decompose over a period of time and becomes microplastic. That is secondary microplastic. But then primary microplastic is the one which we are commercially producing for application in cosmetics and textiles. Next is according to the most recent global estimates, an average human consumes at least 50,000 microplastic particles every year. Okay, this is alarming, right? And that is because of the contamination which the microplastic has created. Okay, it is contaminated in our food, water, and even in air. Okay, so it becomes a matter of concern. Microplastic contain toxic chemicals, many toxic chemicals, and among the toxic chemicals, this is very harmful, that is bisphenol A. A question about bisphenol A was also asked previously in UPSC prelims. Bisphenol A is used in the process of manufacturing of polycarbonate plastics. Okay, they are a different group of plastics called polycarbonate plastics, and also epoxy resins. In the manufacture of epoxy resins, they are used as plasticizers. They are used to harden the plastic. Okay, plastic has to become hardened, right, for its use. So for that we are using bisphenol A, but it has very adverse effect on our health. That is, it will affect our liver function, insulin resistance, adverse effect on fetal development, reproductive system issues, and also impacts our brain function. So it is dangerous. Okay. Next, this is a fact related to plastic pollution, that is Great Pacific Garbage Patch. Okay, where this Great Pacific Garbage Patch is located? It is located in North Pacific Ocean between California and Japan. Okay, why are we seeing this? We have ocean currents, right? We have different ocean currents, and due to this pattern of different ocean currents, there is accumulation of plastic waste in a particular area in the ocean, especially Pacific Ocean. That area is called as Great Pacific Garbage Patch. Okay, so large accumulation of plastic waste formed by converging oceanic currents. Okay, that is Great Pacific Garbage Patch. Where is it located? North Pacific Ocean between California and Japan. They are also called as trash vortex. That is also important. It is a fact, just a fact. Next, we'll understand a question. Why is there a great concern about microbeads that are released into environment? This is a previous year question. Answer to this is they are considered harmful to marine ecosystem. Obviously, right? Microbeads are getting accumulated in marine ecosystems, that they affect marine ecosystems, and also in turn they are also affecting human lives. So this was a previous question. Next, I told, right, there was a question about bisphenol A. They are used in the production or in the manufacture of polycarbonate. This was the question, previous year question that I mentioned. Okay, next, the topic here, this is where we evolved, that is we came to this point from this news, that is plastic waste to fuel. How are we going to do it? We have created a pilot scale mobile plant. This is the news. It is a vehicle mounted mobile plant. What are they going to do? They are going to convert various types of plastic waste into carbon densified hydrocarbon oil. Okay, and it is a low stringent process, that is it does not require much energy, and it is named poly urja, ICT poly urja. Okay, ICT poly urja. Urja means energy. Okay, in Hindi urja means energy. ICT is Institute of Chemical Technology, because they are, that body or that institute is the one who is creating this or who is developing this technology. Okay, that is ICT poly urja. So it is ICT. Poly means polymer, it refers to plastics. And the presence of selective, recyclable, reusable, and inexpensive catalyst. All these are adjective to this catalyst. What is it? Uses a selective process, which means they are very efficient. They can be recycled, reused, and they are also inexpensive. Okay, this catalyst. What is the catalyst? We'll see in the next slide. Okay, and it enables low cost conversion of plastic waste into fuel. So what is the process? That ICT poly urja process we have to understand. So different types of plastics are collected and sorted, and then a special substance called copper coated over titanium dioxide. Okay, this is important. That is the catalyst. Okay, copper coated over titanium dioxide. There, titanium dioxide is the base material and copper is coated over it. It is added to this plastic waste. Okay, and this catalyst helps in what? It helps in breakdown of the plastic into smaller molecules. First thing. Next is this mixture is there, right? That is the mixture of plastic waste and catalyst. It is heated up, but then it is heated in under moderate conditions, which means it does not require extremely high temperatures. Okay, again energy saving process. And then the process where the plastic is getting converted into fuel, that process is called as catalytic thermoliquefaction. Okay, the chemical transformation is called as catalytic thermoliquefaction, and this process converts the plastic waste into substance called hydrocarbon oil, HC oil. Okay, the resulting HC oil is used to generate heat, steam, and also electricity because of its high calorific value. It is having a certain calorific value, thus it is used in so and so applications. So in this slide, the catalyst is important. This process, catalytic thermoliquefaction process, is important. What are they going to produce? Hydrocarbon oil. That is also important. And then this pilot scale has been produced. Pilot scale plant has been developed now, and it has a capability of converting 100 kilogram per day. Okay, it will convert 100 kilogram per day, and by the end of the year, it will be deployed in many parts of our nation. Okay, this is the typical process how it works, and this picture has been taken from Press Information Bureau, PIB. Okay, I've explained all this. That is collection of plastic. We are sorting the plastic waste, and then we are going for mixture with the catalyst, that is copper coated over titanium dioxide catalyst, and then we are going to heat it up, and then we are going to convert it into HC oil, that is hydrocarbon oil. The process is catalytic thermoliquefaction. Okay. Next, we'll see a question about this. Consider the following statements with reference to ICT poly urja process. It was developed by Institute of Chemical Technology, Mumbai. Yes, this is a correct statement. That is why it has been named ICT. The ICT is Institute of Chemical Technology, ICT poly urja. It uses indigenously prepared patented catalyst. This is copper over titanium dioxide catalyst. Okay, for catalytic thermoliquefaction process of several types of polyolefinic plastic into HC oil. Yes, this is correct. Next, in comparison to traditional technologies such as pyrolysis and gasification, the CTL process requires significantly more energy. This is a wrong statement because this process requires significantly less energy when we compare to other pyrolysis and gasification methods of converting plastic into fuel. Okay, so this process becomes more it becomes less energy intensive. Okay, so thus how many of the above statements are correct? Only two. That is, first and second statement is correct, the third one is wrong. So with this, we have come to end of this session. I hope you found the session to be very useful and informative. I'll catch you in the next session. Thank you.